The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. In the summer of 2024, my friend introduced me to a little video game called Love in Deep Space. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of it. She told me literally nothing about it. She just said that I should play it and see if I like it. Little did my confused ass know, it was a dating sim. A pretty fun one at that. Growing up, one of my favorite games to play was the beach flirting game, where you were running around on the beach flirting with guys and making them your minions. So I wasn't shocked that I was enjoying Love in Deep Space. It ain't much different. You literally got 4 men kissing your ass all the time. It's kind of cute. It's kind of funny. But playing Love in Deep Space made me want to play more dating sims. But I did not want to play something realistic. Like I said, I played the beach flirting game all the time growing up. I needed something a bit chaotic and unhinged. When I went on this dating sim journey in the winter, Date Everything wasn't out yet, so I ended up playing something else instead that was just out of the ass. A Date with Death.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I'm.
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Who's Pirate Ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got the first mate because you wanna know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Today, I don't want to talk about anything that has to do with my major niche. I have just been very intrigued by this one video game and just the entire concepts of dating sims in general, and I just want to express my thoughts and opinions on them because I played A Date with Death earlier this year and I have to say that is still one of my favorite games that I have played, even though I have not been able to game much this summer because of work, stress, depression. I kind of want to give my thoughts and analysis on this video game, and mainly because I get so annoyed when I get on YouTube and keep looking to see if anybody has posted a review of this game and it is like one person. That's it. Like, people just keep posting gameplays and I'm kind of getting tired of just watching people play the damn game. I want to see you talk about the game. I want to see you get your thoughts and opinions on the game. I want to see you analyze the game. And you know what? That's the main reason why I made a YouTube channel in the first place. Make the videos you want to see. So yeah, let's talk A Date with Death. I always have problems with the camera for some reason. It's always crooked. I don't know why. I want to do like a shameless plug. I am basically having 45% off for my merchandise. Everything on my site is 45% off. Basically, I am adding new inventory for fall, which means all the current inventory that I have here, it is marked down for a little while. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. So there's a lot of favorites in there that I usually sell out pretty well, like that Ladybug bonnet that y'all like. Some of my Jujutsu Kaisen bonnets are still there too, just as well. Some of the necklaces, some of the jewelry, all of that. It is marked down for a little while, so if you're interested in that, no pressure whatsoever because I completely understand. The link to that will be down below. Now let's talk about A Date with Death. First of all, the game is weird. The game is weird, and I'm going to go ahead and just say most dating sims are weird. Put a pin on that because that's something that I want to bring up later on down the line, because a lot of people have this notion, which actually has been proven to be true with a lot of these studies, that dating sims are unhealthy. And why I get that, also at the same time I want to talk about it. And by the way, this video will contain spoilers for the video game A Date with Death, but I also want to make it very clear, I did not play all the endings. I only played the ending and got the third ending, which is a happy ending. And I also want to make it clear that I have not played Beyond the Bet. Beyond the Bet is basically the expansion of A Date with Death. So yeah, just want to let you guys know I'm being completely honest about my gameplay with this. So like I said, let's state the obvious, this game is weird. So what exactly is A Date with Death to begin with? One of the main objectives of A Date with Death that I find very interesting, that I didn't notice with a lot of these other dating sims, is that one of the main objectives of this game is to get on his nerves. We like to call him Ghosty, we like to call him Grim, but his name is Casper, and I'm just going to refer to him as Casper for the rest of this video. He's who inspired this look for today. But you're just supposed to annoy the shit out of him, because I was trying my best to be as sweet as possible in the beginning. Like later on down the line, it does give you the option to be much nicer to him, but in the beginning I was just like, this main character is irritating. But also another thing about A Date with Death, it fits into this genre of story where you get to fall in love with the mythical creature. And to be fair, with the banter that went back and forth between you know, the character, and Casper, it reminded me a lot of a book that I used to talk about quite a bit on this channel called The Grim Reaper's Lawyer. And if you don't know what The Grim Reaper's Lawyer is, I'm gonna go get it actually. The Grim Reaper's Lawyer is a novel that is written by Maya Monique about a woman named Joyce who is a lawyer, not surprised. She ends up dying, her client ended up killing her ass, and she realizes that she isn't necessarily dead. I mean, she is dead, but she is brought on and is forced to be the lawyer of a Grim Reaper. And there's a lot of romantic and sexual tension between the two in this book, and that is something that happens quite a bit in A Date with Death. The romantic and sexual tension doesn't really start to come up though until I'd say about halfway through the game. But I just kept thinking of this book the entire time I was playing the game, because it's literally just the entire premise of the main character falling in love with the Grim Reaper. Even though the Grim Reaper here is of color, and the Grim Reaper in A Date with Death, Casper white as hell. Why do you think his name is Casper? Now let's talk about the gameplay of A Date with Death. Like, it lets you customize your own character to get it looking how you want them to look. They can look a lot like you, they can look nothing like you. They do a good job of making the character look very feminine or very masculine. Like, they give a lot of options. And one thing I really did enjoy about the gameplay is that they did what it could to cater to the player's need. They let you be honest about your living situation. They let you be honest about your parents, your job, your dating history. Like, that was something that I did not expect when playing this game, because they like, hey, when there's a part of the game, like basically when you're not really bantering back and forth with him and things are calming down, especially with the route that I took. And I think I ended up getting this route because I was being a lot nicer to Casper. They do ask you questions about your dating history. Like, did you date a lot of people? Did you not? Mind you, you can make up whatever you want. You can lie and say that you didn't date a lot of people and you did. Like, it's fiction. You can do what you want. It's a video game. There's one where you could talk about your parents. They can talk about like, hey, if one of your parents is dead, you can bring that up. If both your parents are alive but you don't talk to them anymore, you can bring that up just as well. And that was a factor that I really did enjoy, because y'all know my mom died, and I did hit those options in the game, and I really did like the responses that Casper was giving to me, because it was being like very sympathetic about things that happen to people in real life. I know another thing where people were talking about the job situation. They let you pick a lot of different things on what your occupation is. You can pick the occupation that you want to have, but you don't actively have at the moment because of the given circumstances. Or you can pick the job that you actually have, and you could be completely honest on if you like it or not. This game did a very good job when it came to variety of the player. They even let you put your own name here. And I really do think the way that you speak in this section does determine the outcome that you get. I know some people say that it doesn't, but I think the way you speak to him before and after a lot of these reveals really do determine if you gonna die, he gonna die, or y'all end up together. The ending that I got for A Date with Death is the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Because, yeah, we ran off together then. I'm gonna be honest, I was making some choices in this game. I was making choices in this game that I know damn well I wouldn't make in real life. Because while I was playing this game, I was basically doing everything that I could to stay with him, especially after he brought me flowers. He showed up to my house and brought me flowers. I literally, listen, this was actually a spoiler that I got for the game. Somebody spoiled it for me. I was sick the night that I played this game. Like, I had like bad allergies and shit like that, and it was one of them nights where my throat was killing me and I was starting to get a headache from sneezing so much. I stayed up until I got the ending and then I passed out right after. But like I said, I was making choices in this game. I was basically doing everything I could to get with him. But guess what? This game takes place over the span of 1 week. Don't this sound like a familiar company's movies? Disney. And I really do think, because I watch a lot of Disney's movies and I like this entire fantasy, that is why I ended up getting the route that I got. And why? Y'all know I watch a lot of Disney films, and many of those romance films, the couples meet each other and then they run off within a week. That is literally a date with death if you play your cards right. But there's one Disney movie in particular where I feel like we actually got to see the aftermath of where the couple actually got together that I want to speak about, and I feel like it's pretty underrated in terms of the romance discussion when it comes to these companies' films. Let's talk about 101 Dalmatians. So for the most part, when people talk about 101 Dalmatians, the main thing that they think about with that movie is one, the dogs, and two, the villain, who is Cruella de Vil. And we all know that her objective of this film is to kidnap these animals, mainly so she can turn them into a fur coat. She's mean, vile, disgusting. They don't make Disney villains like her no more. Even though I have a lot of critiques of ageism when it comes to Cruella's character, that is something that people need to understand is valid criticism when we talk about how a lot of Disney villains are rooted in like fat phobia, ageism, even misogyny to a certain extent. That is like the major focus of that movie, which I understand why a lot of people don't particularly talk about the romance aspect of the film. And I'm not talking about the romance aspect of the dogs, Pongo and Petra. I'm talking about the romance aspect of their owners, Roger and Anita. So as we see in the beginning of the film that Roger and Anita get together rather quickly. A lot of people say that they got married right away, but I'm low-key not buying that they got married super duper quick. I do think that they got married probably like 6 months within the relationship. I mean, looking at the time period when this movie came out, because that is one of the few Disney movies I'd say that took place the year the movie came out. So that movie took place in about the 50s, 60s. And how they ended up getting together is because they both had Dalmatian dogs. Their dogs fall in love, they fall in love with each other, and then they get together. And then we see their relationship after it all. And with a lot of these Disney romance movies, we see them go on this big grand adventure with each other during that week time span of when they get together and decide to get married or just be in a relationship with each other. Roger and Anita, after they get together and start living together with one another, I would say that it's not very action-packed. If anything, it's a bit boring. And that's just how realistic relationships are. Like, you're not always gonna go out to expensive dinner every night. You're not gonna go to the new amusement park every so often. You're not gonna go hiking every day. You're not going to go on these big, grand adventures. Like, realistically, sometimes you just live together, you look at each other, you say hi, you have a few conversations, and then that's that. That is usually how things are kind of the majority of the time, because we have life, we have work, we have hobbies, we have lives outside of our partners. Like, so yeah, when it comes to these Disney movies, we like the idea of getting with somebody in 3 days. When in reality, we know that's a really terrible idea. And I knew that shit playing a date with death, because I understand, like, with a lot of games, dating sims, and even books, there usually is time skips that go in between. Like, even with, like, the Grim Reaper's lawyer, it took place over a few months of when they fell in love, which is a lot more realistic, and they didn't even get married in the end. So I thought playing A Date with Death, it was going to have one of those time jump situations, but the more I sat and the more I played it, and the more Steam kept telling me day 1 down, day 2 down, day 3 down, I realized something. That this was not Dream Daddy. There was not time skips. This was not something that was going to take place over some months. No. We might actually get together in a week. We might run off together in a week. Because I know one of the major endings that people got in A Date with Death is that they got married in a week. Terrible idea. The ending I got, he moved in with me in a week. Bad idea. Super duper bad idea. Like I said, I was making choices in this game. Would I do that in real life? Would I let a man move into my place after a week of knowing him? Absolutely fucking not. That is a bad idea. I know I did make a video where I was talking about why I like to ship Toji and Megara together. I'll link that down below, where that's basically a video where I try to understand a crack ship, and I understand a crack ship. I was just trying to get other people to understand it. While I appreciate the fun, action-packed adventure romance movies that we see all the time from Disney, and I don't think they show unrealistic depictions of relationships, because a lot of you guys said they feel like they did, and sometimes you felt like they didn't, and I feel like it really depended on the Disney property that you watch when you start with that. I also think, like, yeah, we get the fall in love in one day type of thing with Tangled, and we get that with The Princess and the Frog. We also get the type of thing where we just get to see the couple be. Because I usually like to watch a lot of those Disney movies where it's obvious there's like an older man and an older woman married with each other, and they're just being like, kind of like Eustace and Muriel. Honestly, I don't think Eustace deserves Muriel whatsoever. I fucking hate Eustace bag. Everyone knows I hate Eustace. But when you're officially in a relationship with someone for a while, a lot of the times it's not necessarily entertaining. And I even say 101 Dalmatians is one of the more realistic Disney films, if we're being honest. Like, with the exception of the talking dogs and all that shit, everything just seems very basic and everything just seems very normal. We like to see art as a form of escapism. Like, we see romance books as a form of escapism. I can't really get with dark romance because there's just certain things in those books that y'all try to romanticize that I just can't particularly vibe with. And I'm talking about illegal stuff. Like, I can vibe with A Date with Death and we fell in love in 3 days. Yeah, I can vibe with that, but some of the things that y'all talk about in them dark romance books, pretty much anything written by Penelope Douglas is a big no for me. Romance is something that is big when it comes to escapism, and that is why I feel like dating sims have become super duper popular, especially with Gen Z, my generation. A lot of people be talking about how the men over here just be trash. Like, I get it. And I try not to talk about dating discourse that much on my channel because I just don't necessarily care to do so, but they're just fun things to fool around with. When it comes to A Date with Death, I like the idea of dating the Grim Reaper, but I know that I could never do that because, you know, the Grim Reaper is a mythical creature. And that's why when a lot of these arguments where people are talking about how they feel as though dating sims are extremely unhealthy, I'm just sitting here and, like, in the back of my mind, I'm trying not to be judgmental because I know sometimes I can be judgmental. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm working on it. I'm trying my best. But also at the same time, I'm like, these literally are characters that would never ever be real. Like, a lot of people know that my bias when I play Love in Deep Space is Raphael. I know merman ain't real. Y'all really think that I think this merman is super duper deeply in love with me? Like, I'm delusional about certain things in life, but I'm not delusional enough to think that Casper, the Grim Reaper from A Date with Death, is madly in love with me. Like, I'm gonna laugh and kiki and joke and say that he is in love with me because I played that video game and he was in love with me while I played that game. But in real life, I know that's just a game. I can separate fact from fiction with that. And I understand that you never know what a person is going through, and why a lot of people play video games as a form of escapism. I know a lot of people say that they play them because they do want to get better, like, at dating and have that experience before they actually go out in the real world and do it. But also, I just feel as though we gotta sit here and discuss that, like y'all know everybody been talking about Kendra and her psychiatrist. I'm like, we gotta have a discussion about determining fact from fiction, and I feel like that just has an effect on how fandom has been doing lately, because a lot of people don't seem to understand that fictional characters are just that, they're fictional characters. Like, people were getting so mad at people saying that they simply didn't like Ghetto from JJK, and they were harassing them and going off on them, forgetting that Ghetto is not a real person. I think this is just why dating sims just get so much shit in general, because people feel like it's unhealthy to play them. People feel like it's unhealthy to be like super duper obsessed with a fictional character. And I'll sit here and tell you that there's a whole bunch of fictional characters that I love and adore, but I know they ain't real at the end of the day. And if somebody dislikes them, I'm not gonna act like that's an attack on me. But people feel like it's unhealthy to play dating sims, but so many of them are very over the top to a point where you know that this shit is not real. Because even though there are guys in this world that are similar to Casper from A Date with Deb, at the end of the day, Casper is a Grim Reaper. He ain't real. Like, other than A Date with Deb, I have played and watched gameplays of Dream Daddy, Error 143, Episode. And yes, the most popular dating sim out here at the moment, Love in Deep Space. I know I'm not dating any of these men because it is a game. It is just something that is simply for fun. This is just kind of like a rant, but also just me wanting to bring a little bit more attention to A Date with Death, because I just feel like this is just a fun, silly little game. And I feel like dating sims have just been gotten so much shit lately, and it's been annoying me. Like, it has literally just been annoying me, because people don't see these as just games that women find for fun. Like, these are popular games amongst women, and it just seems like people tend to have a big ass problem with anything that women enjoy nowadays. Like, we see it with time and time again, because I even noticed that Jujutsu Kaisen started to get a lot of shit when people realized that it was super duper big with women. Like, allow us to enjoy these things, allow us to have fun, but also I feel like we have to, you know, have balance with these kinds of games, because depending on what somebody is dealing with, these games can be a bit unhealthy for them, and they may need to take breaks from them from time to time. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts and opinions on A Date with Dev, and how it's just kind of funny to fall in love in 3 days, but also because of just how over the top dating sims are in general, it's not shocking. I feel like the dating sims or unhealthy discussion is just something that I feel like is just like a more broader thing to discuss, because I was like, I feel like with a lot of these takes, it's very much giving like, let's find a problem with every little last thing that women like. And like, yeah, there are problems with dating sims, because there are certain dating sims that I have seen and I just cannot vibe with completely. But also at the same time, I just feel like just straight up saying don't play dating sims because they're bad for you, it's just like a very frustrating take, because there's just so many nuances to it. It's nothing that's very black or white. There's a lot of gray area when it comes to these kind of games. And I feel like it's a lot of gray area when it comes to just the romance genre in general. Because we can sit here and talk about how we think it is a really bad idea to fall in love with somebody in 3 days. Like, that is a bad idea. Don't do that shit. And when we say fall in love, I mean like move in with them after 3 days, marry them after 3 days, run off with them in 3 days. That's exactly what I mean when I say that. We know not to do that. But a lot of people tend to think that if you put something in a piece of media that you automatically condone it. Because I'm going to be honest, I bet you the creators of A Date with Death would not sit here and tell you to go marry a man in 3 days. They would not sit here and tell you to let a man move in with you in 3 days. They will most definitely not tell you that. Okay, I think I'm just cut it off now, because I'm just starting to rant right now. Because at first I was just like, so y'all want to fall in love in a week? But now I'm just like, shut up. Stop letting women enjoy things. Alright, that's all I want to say for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.